Welcome back, Lincoln currency. When we look at the humble 1-cent coin, most people see a small piece of metal, something that passes through our hands countless times every day without a second thought. Yet, when we begin to explore coins like the 1989 United States penny, a coin minted over 3 decades ago, a world of intricate design, history, symbolism, and collector intrigue opens up. The 1989 penny, a Lincoln cent, minted during a period of significant economic and cultural transformation in the United States, carries with it both ordinary circulation use and the extraordinary potential for rare value in the eyes of collectors and numismatists. On the surface, the 1989 penny seems like any other penny. It is small, made primarily of copper-plated zinc, and features the enduring image of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, whose visage has graced the obverse of the penny since 1909. But as with many coins that have circulated for decades, the details, the precise minting location, subtle variations in design, and even the story of its production, can dramatically affect its desirability and market value. The 1989 penny was minted at several facilities, including the Philadelphia and Denver mints, with the Denver minted coins bearing the famous D mint mark just beneath the date, a small letter that can dramatically alter a coin's collectible value. These letters, while tiny, serve as historical fingerprints, telling us where a coin was struck, under what conditions, and in what quantity. For collectors, this is often the first factor in determining a coin's potential rarity or uniqueness. The weight of the 1989 penny is another characteristic that seems straightforward at first glance but is loaded with meaning. In 1982, the U.S. Mint transitioned the penny from primarily 95% copper to a composition of 97.5% zinc with a 2.5% copper plating, due to the rising cost of copper. This change means that the 1989 penny weighs 2.5 grams, a reflection of the zinc core, and its diameter remains at 19.05 millimeters, consistent with the Lincoln cent standard. The composition of this coin is important not only for those interested in metallurgy but also for collectors who seek errors, variations, or misstrikes, which often occur when the metal composition slightly affects the striking process. It's fascinating to consider that such a small alteration in composition decades ago has created an entire market niche for modern copper pennies, making even small anomalies noteworthy. Visually, the design of the 1989 penny connects directly to one of the most iconic images in American numismatics, Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. Lincoln's profile, designed by Victor David Brenner in 1909, was originally created to commemorate the centennial of Lincoln's birth. Over the decades, his visage became one of the most familiar images in the United States, instantly recognizable to anyone handling coins. His face, the subtle lines of his beard, the serious contemplation in his eyes, and the meticulous detail in his hair all speak to an era when coin design was both an art and a medium of national storytelling. On the reverse, the Lincoln Memorial, added in 1959 to celebrate the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth, is rendered with remarkable precision for such a small surface. In the tiny spaces between the columns, the statue of Lincoln is depicted, though only discernible with careful observation or magnification. This interplay of design elements, both obverse and reverse, represents not only the artistry of coinage but also a historical narrative of reverence for Lincoln's legacy. The symbolism behind the penny is also rich and multifaceted. Lincoln, who led the nation through its most turbulent years during the Civil War, embodies resilience, integrity, and the fight for unity. The Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, which itself stands in Washington, D.C., as a monument to his enduring legacy, reinforces this narrative on a miniature scale. For collectors and enthusiasts, each coin is more than currency. It is a tangible piece of history, a daily reminder of the ideals upon which the United States was founded. Every scratch, every mark, and every patina tells a story of its journey through pockets, cash registers, and coin jars across the country. The mint mark, the date, and even minor errors that occur during production can transform an otherwise ordinary coin into a collectible piece worth substantial sums. When discussing value, the 1989 penny, like many modern coins, generally has a low face value in everyday transactions. However, numismatic value can be drastically higher depending on condition, mint errors, and rarity. While a circulated 1989 penny might only be worth its 1 cent face value, an uncirculated, perfectly preserved example, or a coin with a notable minting error, can attract significant interest from collectors. The market sometimes even entertains the idea of astronomical valuations. While $85 million for a 1989 penny may sound sensational and largely anecdotal, the story behind such claims speaks to human fascination with rarity, mythology, and the allure of hidden treasure in the everyday. Coins occasionally enter the market as purportedly unique or singular items, often backed by stories of historical mistakes, misstrikes, or unique production circumstances. Even when such valuations are exaggerated, they reflect the excitement and drama surrounding rare coins and the extraordinary lengths collectors will go to acquire. Continuing from our exploration of the 1989 penny, one of the most fascinating aspects that collectors obsess over is the phenomenon of minting errors. Minting errors can transform an ordinary penny into a numismatic treasure. For example, double die errors, which occur when a coin is struck more than once due to misalignment of the die, create doubled images that are visible on the date, lettering, or other design elements. On a 1989 penny, spotting such a double die error requires careful examination with magnification, yet the impact on value can be staggering. Coins with verified double die errors, especially those in high-grade condition, can reach hundreds or thousands of dollars at auction, a significant leap from their face value of 1 cent. Another error that collectors carefully search for is off-center strikes. During the minting process, a planchet, which is the blank metal disc destined to become a coin, can sometimes shift slightly or not be perfectly aligned under the die. The result is a coin that has part of its design missing or off-kilter. On a 1989 penny, an off-center strike could expose part of the zinc core or distort Lincoln's profile and the Lincoln Memorial. Coins with off-center strikes are highly sought after because each is effectively unique. No two off-center coins are exactly alike. The degree of misalignment, the visibility of the error, and the preservation of the coin all contribute to how much collectors are willing to pay. Die cracks, another type of minting anomaly, occur when the steel die used to strike coins develops a crack over time. These cracks appear as raised lines on the coin's surface. For the 1989 penny, die cracks might appear on Lincoln's shoulder, across the date, or even along the rim of the coin. While small die cracks are often minor curiosities, pronounced die cracks can elevate a coin to collector's item status. The rarity of pronounced die cracks, combined with the fact that coins from this era were minted in the millions, creates a paradox. While millions exist, only a small percentage display significant anomalies. This scarcity in anomalies creates opportunities for collectors and adds an element of excitement when searching through large collections for these unique coins. Beyond errors, another aspect of the 1989 penny that fascinates collectors is the variation between mint facilities. The D Mint mark, representing the Denver Mint, distinguishes coins struck there from those produced in Philadelphia, which traditionally bear no mint mark. Subtle differences in die design, pressure, and planchet quality between facilities can result in slight variations in strike clarity, luster, and overall appearance. Enthusiasts sometimes focus specifically on collecting pennies from both mints to ensure a complete set of minor, but historically meaningful differences. Collectors will often pay premiums for coins from particular mints that are in exceptional condition, particularly those that display superior strike detail or eye appeal. Speaking of condition, grading is a critical factor in the coin's valuation. The Sheldon scale, from 1 to 70, assesses coins based on strike quality, surface preservation, luster, and eye appeal. For the 1989 penny, circulated coins might range between grades 1 to 60, while uncirculated coins can range from MS60 to MS70. A coin graded MS65 or higher can command significantly higher prices, particularly if it exhibits any minor anomaly or exceptional luster. Professional grading by organizations such as PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, or NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, provides authentication, reduces buyer risk, and enhances market confidence. Graded coins are often encapsulated in tamper-evident holders, which protect them while showcasing the coin's quality and authenticity to potential buyers and collectors. The market for 1989 pennies is influenced not only by grading and errors but also by broader numismatic trends. During periods of economic uncertainty, interest in collectible coins often rises as investors seek tangible assets with intrinsic and historical value. Conversely, during periods of economic expansion, the market may favor coins with aesthetic appeal, novelty, or cultural significance rather than strict rarity. In either scenario, the 1989 penny occupies a unique position. It is modern enough to be familiar to many, yet old enough that pristine examples and anomalies are scarce. This balance between accessibility and rarity fuels ongoing collector interest and explains why stories of multi-million-dollar valuations, even if exaggerated, continue to circulate. One such story involves the legendary claim that a 1989 penny could be worth as much as $85 million. While this is almost certainly a myth, it captures the imagination and demonstrates the allure of coins in the collector psyche. These tales often originate from misunderstood auction results, rare error discoveries, or marketing efforts aimed at generating excitement. Even if no single 1989 penny has ever sold for anywhere near that amount, the story reinforces the idea that coins, especially those with unique features or pristine preservation, hold untold potential value. In a way, these myths inspire collectors to examine every coin carefully, hunt for errors, and consider the possibilities that each seemingly ordinary penny might hide something extraordinary. The history of the 1989 penny is also tied closely to its design lineage. Abraham Lincoln's image first appeared on the cent in 1909, commemorating the 100th anniversary of his birth. Over the decades, the penny has remained relatively consistent in its depiction of Lincoln, symbolizing stability and continuity in American coinage. The Lincoln Memorial Reverse, introduced in 1959, commemorates the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth and the dedication of the memorial itself. On the 1989 penny, these design elements are executed with precise attention to detail. The columns of the memorial, though only a few millimeters tall, are individually distinguishable, and the faint statue of Lincoln inside the memorial can be seen clearly under magnification. For collectors, these design details are not merely decorative, they are part of the historical record and a testament to the artistry and craftsmanship of American coinage. Another interesting facet of the 1989 penny involves its metal composition. After 1982, pennies were primarily zinc with a thin copper plating. This shift was prompted by rising copper prices, and it affected the coin's weight, feel, and even its behavior over time. The zinc core is slightly more prone to corrosion under certain conditions, which means that finding a pristine 1989 penny in uncirculated condition requires careful handling and often years of preservation. The composition also affects minting characteristics. For example, the softer copper plating can sometimes display subtle anomalies like lamination flaws, where the copper layer separates slightly from the zinc core. These anomalies, while generally considered minor, can become points of interest for collectors who specialize in modern-era coins. Collectors also examine the 1989 penny through the lens of broader economic and cultural history. This was the final decade of the Cold War, a period marked by technological advancement, political change, and shifting economic priorities in the United States. Coins from this era, while common in circulation, reflect these societal currents in subtle ways. For instance, the use of less expensive metals in coins illustrates the rising costs of raw materials and the economic decisions made by the mint to ensure continuity in coin production. Likewise, the enduring design of Lincoln connects modern coinage with a historical narrative that spans more than a century. As we continue exploring the world of the 1989 penny, one of the most fascinating aspects for collectors is the way these coins appear at auctions around the world. While the majority of 1989 pennies are ordinary, circulated coins, auction houses occasionally present rare or exceptional specimens that command attention. Coins that are in pristine, uncirculated condition, particularly those graded MS65 or higher by recognized grading authorities such as PCGS or NGC, can fetch premiums far above face value. These auctions are not only about buying and selling coins, they are a demonstration of the passion, knowledge, and dedication of the numismatic community. Collectors often attend these events to witness rare discoveries firsthand, observe bidding strategies, and gauge the current market trends for Lincoln cents from this era. One story that circulates among collectors involves an uncirculated 1989 D penny with an exceptionally strong strike and flawless surface, graded MS68 by a professional service. The coin, described as having a deep cameo contrast and perfect alignment, became the center of attention at a specialized coin auction. While it did not actually sell for $85 million as legend sometimes suggests, the coin did achieve a price significantly higher than most ordinary pennies from the same year, illustrating how quality, condition, and rarity converge to produce collector value. This story is emblematic of the broader fascination with the 1989 penny. While millions exist in circulation, only a select few meet the stringent criteria that elevate them into numismatic prominence. Era coins from 1989 also carry a special allure. Among the most coveted are double die obverse errors, where the coin exhibits clear doubling of the date, lettering, or other design elements. Another notable category is off-center strikes, which vary in severity. Minor off-center strikes may show just a fraction of Lincoln's head misaligned, while extreme misalignments can leave significant portions of the coin's surface blank, exposing the zinc core. For collectors, these anomalies are not flaws, they are rare occurrences that enhance the coin's story and, often, its market value. Indeed, some misaligned pennies, particularly those that survived in excellent condition, have been sold for hundreds or even thousands of dollars, far exceeding their nominal 1-cent face value. The international interest in U.S. pennies, including the 1989 variety, is another fascinating dimension. While most of these coins circulate in the United States, collectors from Europe, Asia, and South America actively seek them out. Numismatic enthusiasts abroad often pursue coins that are well-preserved, era coins, or proof sets. The 1989 penny, being modern enough to be familiar yet old enough to have accumulated rare specimens, is particularly attractive to international collectors. Auction results show that coins sold overseas, especially those with certified high grades or unusual features, can command higher premiums than similar coins sold domestically. This global interest underscores the universal appeal of coins as tangible pieces of history and artistry, bridging cultures and generations through small but meaningful objects. Another dimension that enhances the fascination with the 1989 penny is the concept of key dates and rarity within abundance. While 1989 is not traditionally considered a key date in the Lincoln cent series, coins from this year can still attain collectible status due to condition, anomalies, or provenance. Provenance, the documented history of ownership, can enhance a coin's allure. A 1989 penny previously owned by a prominent collector, or discovered in an unusual setting, might be more valuable due to its documented journey through history. Collectors value these stories almost as much as the coins themselves, and provenance can sometimes add tens of thousands of dollars to a coin's market value, particularly for exceptional specimens. The concept of grading, which we discussed earlier, is central to understanding the collectible value of the 1989 penny. Grading involves assessing the coin's strike, luster, surface preservation, and overall eye appeal. Coins that appear uncirculated but exhibit minor imperfections may be graded lower, while coins with flawless surfaces, sharp details, and full original mint luster can achieve top-tier grades such as MS67, MS68, or even MS70. The difference in value between MS64 and MS67 coins can be dramatic, sometimes amounting to a tenfold or higher increase, illustrating why meticulous handling, storage, and authentication are critical for collectors who wish to maximize the potential value of their coins. Collectors and hobbyists also consider the subtleties of die varieties when assessing 1989 pennies. Slight differences in the dies used to strike coins can result in unique features such as raised lines, double design elements, or tiny imperfections that differentiate one coin from another. Identifying these subtle variations requires knowledge, careful observation, and sometimes magnification tools, but for dedicated collectors, these small details can make the difference between a common coin and a highly prized collectible. Enthusiasts often document these varieties in detailed catalogs, creating guides that aid in recognition, comparison, and valuation. One area of fascination that blends both mythology and numismatics is the idea that certain 1989 pennies might be worth astronomical sums, such as $85 million. While no verified transaction supports this figure, the narrative persists because it represents the dream of finding something extraordinary in a seemingly ordinary object. Stories of coins discovered in attics, hidden in old coin rolls, or misidentified in circulation add an aura of mystery to the 1989 penny. These tales, even if embellished, create excitement, encouraging collectors to examine their own coins closely for anomalies, misstrikes, or other distinctive features that could dramatically enhance their value. The mythic potential of the 1989 penny is as much a part of its appeal as its physical characteristics or historical context. The story of the 1989 penny also intersects with the evolution of coin collecting itself. In the late 20th century, coin collecting transitioned from a niche hobby to a structured field with standardized grading, professional auction houses, and global marketplaces. The introduction of third-party grading services in the 1980s revolutionized the collector market, providing verification, reducing uncertainty, and enhancing the perceived value of coins in pristine condition. A 1989 penny submitted to a grading service could emerge with an official grade that instantly elevated its market status, creating confidence among buyers and often leading to competitive bidding at auctions. This professionalization of the hobby ensured that even modern pennies could achieve notable market value if preserved and certified correctly. Historical context further enriches the story of the 1989 penny. In 1989, the United States was undergoing social and economic changes. The stock market fluctuations, cultural shifts, and political events of the late 1980s provide a backdrop that adds depth to the coin's narrative. Holding a 1989 penny is not just holding a piece of copper and zinc, it is holding a small artifact from a specific moment in history. The coin has passed through countless hands, witnessed innumerable transactions, and survived the wear and tear of everyday circulation. Its existence connects the present day to a specific year in America's ongoing story, and its continued preservation in excellent condition is a testament to careful stewardship and an appreciation for history. Collectors also consider the interaction between metal composition and preservation when evaluating 1989 pennies. Because the coin is primarily zinc with a thin copper plating, it reacts differently over time compared to the older, nearly pure copper pennies minted before 1982. The copper layer can develop subtle discolorations or wear more quickly, while the zinc core is more vulnerable to corrosion if the coin is exposed to moisture or acidic environments. Coins that have avoided such environmental impacts and remain bright, lustrous, and fully intact are exceedingly rare. It is this rarity within abundance that, continuing our journey into the fascinating world of the 1989 penny, it becomes evident that the story of this coin extends far beyond its metal content or face value. Among serious collectors, one of the most exciting aspects is the auction history. Auction houses, both in the United States and internationally, have occasionally featured 1989 pennies that demonstrate exceptional quality or rare anomalies. For instance, there have been cases of 1989 D pennies submitted for grading and auctioned with remarkable results due to near-perfect condition, deeply struck details, or subtle die errors. Even though such coins are extremely rare, they highlight the principle that modern pennies are not immune to numismatic intrigue. One of the more dramatic types of errors that collectors covet is the so-called broad strike, or off-metal strike. In these cases, a coin may have been struck without being properly seated within the coin press's collar. The result is a penny that appears slightly enlarged, distorted, or with incomplete rims. For a 1989 penny, discovering such an error is akin to finding a small piece of numismatic history that survived despite being produced in the millions. Coins exhibiting broad strike errors, especially in uncirculated condition, can reach prices far above normal market expectations because they are unique within the series and demonstrate unusual minting circumstances. Another fascinating anomaly involves lamination errors, where the copper plating begins to separate from the zinc core. While common lamination issues can occur due to environmental factors or planchet imperfections, extreme cases are of particular interest to collectors. A 1989 penny showing a partially peeled copper layer, yet retaining a recognizable design, becomes a rare piece because it tells a story about the production process and material properties. Numismatists often describe such coins as having industrial scars, which paradoxically enhance their collectible value by providing insight into the minting process of that era. In addition to physical errors, collector interest also extends to coins with exceptional eye appeal, which may include deep, original luster, sharp design details, and flawless surfaces. For a 1989 penny, eye appeal can be enhanced by the way light interacts with the copper-plated surface, revealing subtle contrasts between Lincoln's profile, the lettering, and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. Coins exhibiting superior eye appeal, particularly those graded MS66 or higher, often achieve premium prices at auction. These coins are highly sought after because they combine modern production quality with rarity and aesthetic perfection. The international market further magnifies the significance of the 1989 penny. While most coins circulate domestically, collectors from Europe, Asia, and South America actively seek coins that are in exceptional condition or display unique characteristics. In some cases, auction records indicate that coins sold overseas have fetched higher prices than similar coins in the U.S., reflecting the global fascination with American numismatics. The allure of owning a perfectly preserved piece of U.S. history transcends borders, creating competitive bidding and increasing the market value for rare or flawless specimens. Stories of extreme collector dedication often accompany these coins. Enthusiasts spend years scouring circulation for uncirculated examples, searching through rolls, collections, and even coin jars in an effort to uncover pennies with perfect surfaces or subtle anomalies. These efforts require meticulous attention to detail, patience, and knowledge of minting history. When a collector discovers a pristine 1989 penny with a subtle doubling or other unusual feature, it is not merely a coin, it becomes a trophy representing perseverance, expertise, and sometimes a touch of serendipity. The interplay between grading and market value is critical for understanding how 1989 pennies achieve their collector status. For example, a coin graded MS63 may sell for several dollars above face value, while an MS67 example with exceptional luster and no visible imperfections could reach hundreds or even thousands of dollars, particularly if certified by a professional grading service. The incremental increase in grade can have an exponential effect on value because buyers are willing to pay for guaranteed perfection and assurance of authenticity. This grading system also allows coins with rare errors or exceptional eye appeal to stand out from the millions of ordinary circulation pennies produced each year. Historical context further enriches the appeal of the 1989 penny. This period marked the final years of the Cold War, a time when the United States was undergoing social, political, and economic transformations. The penny, as a small but ubiquitous artifact of everyday life, reflects these changes indirectly. Its composition, a transition from pure copper to copper-plated zinc, reveals economic considerations made by the U.S. Mint to manage production costs. Its design, unchanged for decades, represents a continuity in American symbolism, connecting citizens with the legacy of Abraham Lincoln and national identity. In this way, every 1989 penny carries both historical and cultural significance, making it more than just a 1-cent coin. Collectors also focus on the provenance of individual coins, which can enhance their value significantly. Provenance refers to the documented history of a coin, including previous ownership, auction records, and any noteworthy discoveries. A 1989 penny with documented history, such as being part of a renowned collection or recovered from a significant hoard, can command premium prices. The story behind the coin becomes intertwined with its physical attributes, creating a narrative that collectors find compelling. Provenance, coupled with high-grade condition or a unique error, elevates a coin from a simple collectible to a highly prized piece of numismatic history. The allure of the 1989 penny also includes its role as an educational tool for numismatists and enthusiasts. Collectors study these coins to understand minting techniques, the effects of metal composition on preservation, and the subtle variations that differentiate one coin from another. The penny becomes a tangible medium for learning about history, metallurgy, economics, and design. For students of numismatics, even ordinary pennies provide valuable insight into the broader practices of the U.S. Mint and the cultural significance of coinage. Another captivating aspect is the integration of the 1989 penny into the broader Lincoln cent series. Collectors often aim to assemble complete sets spanning multiple years and mints, including Philadelphia and Denver examples. The 1989 penny occupies a specific place within this continuum, bridging the mid-20th century copper coins and more modern compositions. Its relatively recent production means that well-preserved examples are less common than circulated coins from prior decades, making high-grade specimens particularly valuable to those pursuing comprehensive sets. Finally, the mythic valuation of $85 million, though largely anecdotal, serves as a symbol of the potential embedded in ordinary objects. It illustrates the human fascination with rarity, storytelling, and the search for hidden treasures. Even if number 1989 penny has ever approached this figure in reality, the narrative encourages collectors to explore, research, and value coins not merely for their face value, but for the intricate stories, errors, and histories they embody. It is this combination of artistry, history, rarity, and narrative potential that ensures the 1989 penny continues to captivate collectors, historians, and enthusiasts alike. As we continue to examine the 1989 penny, it becomes clear that the story of this small coin is inseparable from the broader narrative of coin collecting and numismatic culture. Collectors who have devoted years to understanding the subtleties of the Lincoln cent series often cite 1989 as a year where modern production techniques, minor anomalies, and pristine preservation converge to create opportunities for discovery. In auction houses, both online and traditional, 1989 pennies that exhibit exceptional qualities can generate intense interest. For example, coins with MS-67 or MS-68 grades, particularly those displaying full luster and flawless strike, have consistently exceeded expectations in bidding sessions. The combination of high grade and visual appeal often sparks competitive bidding wars, reflecting the market's willingness to reward excellence in preservation and rarity, even for a coin with a nominal face value of 1 cent. Legendary collector stories further enhance the mystique of the 1989 penny. One anecdote involves a seasoned numismatist who spent decades examining circulation pennies, gradually building a collection of high-grade specimens. During this pursuit, the collector discovered a 1989 D penny with an unusual die crack running subtly along Lincoln's coat. Though the coin appeared ordinary to the casual observer, the expert recognized it as a rare anomaly, immediately sending it to a professional grading service. The coin emerged graded MS-66 with the die crack certified as a recognized variety. This single discovery elevated the coin from ordinary status to a prized collector's piece, demonstrating how expertise, patience, and attention to minute details can transform a simple penny into a valuable artifact. Stories like this illustrate why the 1989 penny continues to captivate both novice and seasoned collectors. Its potential for hidden surprises rewards diligence, research, and careful examination. Investment potential is another critical dimension for serious collectors. Unlike other commodities, coins are tangible assets that combine historical, aesthetic, and material value. The 1989 penny, particularly in uncirculated condition, can serve as an entry point for investors seeking relatively affordable yet collectible items. While myths of $85 million valuations are exaggerated, the principle remains that coins can appreciate over time, particularly those with superior preservation, unique errors, or significant provenance. Investors often monitor market trends, auction results, and grading reports to identify opportunities where a modest investment today could yield significant returns in the future. The 1989 penny exemplifies this dynamic because it is widely recognized, historically significant, and potentially scarce in high-grade form. Preservation techniques are vital for maintaining and enhancing the value of a 1989 penny. Collectors typically employ strategies such as storing coins in protective holders, avoiding direct contact with bare hands to prevent oils and dirt from affecting surfaces, and maintaining controlled environmental conditions to prevent corrosion or discoloration. Humidity, temperature fluctuations, and exposure to air pollutants can all compromise a coin's condition, reducing its numismatic value. For the modern copper-plated zinc pennies, such as the 1989 cent, meticulous preservation is particularly important because the zinc core is more susceptible to degradation if exposed. By employing these strategies, collectors ensure that their pennies retain maximum luster, detail, and marketability over decades. The broader numismatic market has seen dramatic changes since 1989. During the 1990s and early 2000s, demand for collectible coins expanded significantly due to increased global interest, the rise of online auction platforms, and the professionalization of grading services. These factors have contributed to a more transparent and competitive marketplace, benefiting those who own high-quality 1989 pennies. Coins that might have passed unnoticed in circulation decades ago can now be authenticated, graded, and sold to enthusiastic collectors worldwide. The transparency and standardization provided by modern grading organizations have also reduced uncertainty for buyers, allowing even modest collectors to confidently purchase coins with known quality and provenance. Collector behavior also reflects an appreciation for the historical narrative embedded in the 1989 penny. Each coin is not only a piece of currency but a marker of its era, a small artifact that embodies the social, economic, and technological context of late 20th century America. The transition to zinc core pennies, subtle variations in minting practices, and the enduring Lincoln design all contribute to the coin's historical significance. For collectors, understanding these details is part of the pleasure of collecting, transforming the act of coin acquisition into a study of history, art, and culture. This intellectual engagement elevates the coin beyond mere metal, connecting the collector to a narrative that spans centuries. Auction analysis also reveals interesting trends. Coins with extraordinary condition, unique anomalies, or notable provenance consistently outperform ordinary specimens. For instance, 1989 D pennies with subtle double die errors or die cracks certified by PCGS or NGC often command several times the price of a standard uncirculated coin. Coins with full original luster, strong strike, and flawless surfaces achieve premiums in both live auctions and online marketplaces. Even minor errors can attract attention if certified and marketed effectively, highlighting the intersection of quality, rarity, and narrative in determining collector value. The legend of $85 million, while fictional, underscores the allure of the unknown in numismatics. Stories about extraordinary valuations encourage collectors to meticulously inspect their coins, search for anomalies, and participate in auctions with heightened awareness of potential rare finds. These myths fuel imagination and engagement within the collector community, adding a layer of excitement to what might otherwise seem a mundane object. The very idea that a 1-cent coin could carry such immense value demonstrates how human fascination with rarity, storytelling, and discovery elevates the practice of coin collecting into both an art and a science. Collectors also focus on educational aspects, studying coin production, die varieties, and historical context. The 1989 penny provides a tangible example of modern minting processes, illustrating how advances in technology, quality control, and design precision influence collectible outcomes. Enthusiasts learn to identify subtle differences between strikes, observe the effects of composition changes, and recognize the significance of mint marks. This knowledge empowers collectors to make informed decisions, enhancing their appreciation of the coin's value beyond monetary considerations. Finally, the ongoing legacy of the 1989 penny lies in its combination of accessibility and potential rarity. While millions were minted for circulation, the survival of uncirculated, high-grade examples is relatively limited. Errors, anomalies, and pristine condition coins remain scattered, often hidden in collections or. As we delve further into the fascinating world of the 1989 penny, it becomes clear that understanding its market trends over the decades provides deep insight into its collectible potential. From the early 1990s to the present, the 1989 penny has maintained a unique position within the Lincoln Cent series. While it is not traditionally considered a key date, its status as a modern coin with limited uncirculated survivors has made it increasingly sought after by collectors aiming to complete high-grade sets. Market data shows that coins graded MS65 and above have appreciated steadily over the past 3 decades, reflecting a combination of scarcity, collector demand, and inflationary pressures on the collectibles market. One of the more intriguing aspects of the 1989 penny is its relative rarity in exceptional condition. While millions of these pennies were minted, most entered general circulation, experiencing the typical wear and tear of everyday use. Consequently, uncirculated examples that retain full luster, sharp strikes, and flawless surfaces are disproportionately valuable. Coins that meet these standards are often preserved in specialized holders or encapsulated by professional grading services, which not only protect them from environmental degradation but also authenticate their condition. Such measures are particularly important for modern copper-plated zinc pennies, as the zinc core is more susceptible to corrosion or plating separation over time. Collectors who invest in proper storage methods can maintain the coin's market value and even see appreciation as high-quality specimens become scarcer. Extreme rarity examples of the 1989 penny often involve subtle minting anomalies. Beyond double die errors, off-center strikes, and lamination issues, collectors sometimes uncover coins with die clashes or planchet flaws. A die clash occurs when the coin dies strike each other without a planchet in place, transferring unintended marks onto subsequent coins. These anomalies are relatively rare and can add significant interest to an otherwise ordinary 1989 penny. Similarly, planchet flaws, such as improperly punched blanks or slight variations in metal composition, create coins that are effectively unique. The thrill of discovering such anomalies drives collectors to meticulously examine rolls, coin lots, and even circulated coins in search of hidden treasures. Comparing the 1989 penny to other Lincoln cents provides additional context for understanding its value. Earlier Lincoln pennies, particularly those minted in the early 20th century, are often more inherently rare due to smaller mintages, historical factors, and aging. However, the 1989 penny benefits from its modern production quality and the availability of professional grading services. While it may lack the historical scarcity of a 1909 SVD cent, for example, its rarity in uncirculated or error conditions makes it a compelling addition to any high-grade Lincoln cent collection. Collectors appreciate the continuity of Lincoln's design and the evolution of minting techniques, using the 1989 penny as a bridge between older copper coins and more contemporary issues. Storage and preservation techniques are crucial for maintaining the integrity of the 1989 penny. Collectors often use coin flips, holders, or hard plastic slabs to protect individual coins from physical damage, environmental factors, and chemical reactions that can alter the surface. Temperature and humidity control are equally important. Exposure to excessive moisture or fluctuating temperatures can accelerate oxidation, causing discoloration or deterioration of the copper plating. Some advanced collectors employ archival quality materials, silica gel packets, or climate-controlled safes to ensure long-term preservation. These methods not only protect the coins but also enhance their appeal and marketability, ensuring that high-grade examples remain valuable over time. The international market for 1989 pennies adds another layer of complexity and opportunity. While most coins circulate within the United States, collectors abroad actively seek pristine examples, error coins, and proof specimens. European and Asian collectors, in particular, have been known to pay premiums for coins certified by recognized grading services, as these coins offer assurance of authenticity and condition. International auctions and online marketplaces create competitive environments where high-quality 1989 pennies can achieve remarkable prices. This global interest underscores the universal appeal of American coinage and highlights the role of the 1989 penny as a collectible that transcends borders, culture, and language. Stories of legendary collectors and unique discoveries continue to shape the narrative of the 1989 penny. One particularly captivating tale involves a collector who purchased a bulk lot of circulated pennies for a modest sum, only to discover a rare misaligned 1989 D coin among them. The coin, which exhibited a pronounced off-center strike and exceptional surface preservation, was later graded MS-65 by a professional service and sold at auction for a substantial profit. This story illustrates the potential for hidden value in ordinary coins and emphasizes the importance of meticulous examination and patience in the collecting process. Such anecdotes fuel the excitement and mystique surrounding the 1989 penny, reminding collectors that treasures can be found in the most unassuming places. Another factor influencing the 1989 penny's value is the interplay between collector demand and mintage numbers. The United States Mint produced millions of 1989 pennies, yet the number of coins surviving in pristine, uncirculated condition is far smaller. As collectors continue to seek high-quality specimens for sets, investments, or historical study, the scarcity of these coins becomes increasingly apparent. Market dynamics reflect this reality. Coins graded MS-65 or higher are consistently in demand, often resulting in higher auction prices, competitive bidding, and long-term appreciation. The principles of supply and demand, combined with the coin's historical context, create a compelling case for its continued relevance in the numismatic world. Finally, the cultural and educational significance of the 1989 penny cannot be overstated. Beyond its potential monetary value, the coin serves as a teaching tool for understanding minting processes, metal composition, historical context, and the As we move deeper into the fascinating narrative of the 1989 penny, one of the most intriguing aspects for collectors and enthusiasts is the variety of minting errors that can transform an otherwise ordinary coin into a rare and highly sought-after collectible. Error coins are anomalies that occur during the production process, and for a 1989 penny, these errors can take many forms, each with its own degree of rarity and impact on value. Among the most commonly sought-after errors are double die obverse coins, off-center strikes, lamination flaws, broad strikes, and die clashes. Understanding these errors requires both technical knowledge and a careful eye, as subtle differences often distinguish an exceptional error from a minor anomaly. Double die errors occur when the die used to strike the coin is improperly manufactured, resulting in repeated or doubled images on the coin. On a 1989 penny, these errors often appear in the date, the lettering of Liberty, or the phrase, "In God We Trust." While minor doubling might be overlooked by the casual observer, professional numismatists recognize even subtle double die anomalies as valuable features. Coins exhibiting such doubling, especially in uncirculated condition, are often submitted for grading to ensure authentication and precise valuation. Double die errors not only provide aesthetic intrigue but also carry historical significance, revealing the meticulous and occasionally imperfect processes of the United States Mint. Off-center strikes are another category of error highly prized by collectors. These occur when the planchet is misaligned during the striking process, causing the design to be partially cut off or shifted from its normal position. The degree of misalignment can vary from slight to extreme, and for a 1989 penny, even a minor off-center strike can increase its desirability if the coin remains uncirculated and visually appealing. Extreme off-center strikes, which expose significant portions of the zinc core while leaving part of Lincoln's image intact, are particularly rare and command premium prices. Such coins are effectively unique, as no two off-center strikes are exactly the same, providing a level of individuality that collectors highly prize. Lamination errors occur when the copper plating begins to separate from the zinc core. These can be subtle, appearing as small flakes or streaks on the coin's surface, or more pronounced, with large portions of copper peeling away. For a 1989 penny, lamination errors are often considered minor curiosities, but in certain cases, particularly when combined with other factors such as high grade or off-center strike, they can significantly enhance the coin's value. The combination of rarity, condition, and visual interest makes these anomalies particularly appealing to both collectors and investors. Broad strikes and die clashes represent further fascinating categories. Broad strikes occur when the coin is struck without proper confinement in the collar, resulting in an expanded or distorted appearance. Die clashes occur when the dies strike each other without a planchet in place, transferring unintended marks onto subsequent coins. Both types of errors are relatively rare and demonstrate the complex mechanics of coin production. For a 1989 penny, coins exhibiting these anomalies are highly collectible, particularly when preserved in uncirculated condition, because they are tangible evidence of the minting process and the occasional imperfections inherent in mass production. Speculative values are another dimension that captures the imagination of collectors. While a typical circulated 1989 penny is worth its 1 cent face value, high-grade uncirculated coins or coins with verified errors can command significantly higher prices. Some collectors even consider the theoretical potential for extreme valuation, akin to the mythical $85 million story, as a motivational factor in their collecting strategy. While such figures are largely anecdotal, they illustrate the excitement, aspiration, and storytelling that surrounds numismatics. Even modest collectors may find themselves drawn into meticulous searches for coins with subtle anomalies, hoping to discover an example that stands out within the series. Auction case studies provide real-world examples of how these factors intersect to create value. For instance, a 1989 penny graded MS-66 by a professional service and exhibiting a minor double die error sold at a prominent numismatic auction for several $100s, far above its face value. Another example involved a 1989 penny with an off-center strike of approximately 30%, certified MS-65, which achieved premium bidding due to its uniqueness and exceptional condition. These cases highlight the importance of professional grading, clear documentation, and presentation in maximizing a coin's market potential. Auction houses provide both verification and exposure, allowing coins to reach a global audience of knowledgeable buyers who appreciate subtle details and historical significance. Design symbolism is another aspect that enhances the appeal of the 1989 penny. The obverse features Abraham Lincoln, whose visage has graced the cent since 1909, commemorating the 100th anniversary of his birth. Lincoln's profile represents integrity, leadership, and the enduring principles of American democracy. The reverse features the Lincoln Memorial, added in 1959, representing national reverence and historical continuity. On the 1989 penny, the details of the memorial, including the faint depiction of Lincoln's statue within, remain remarkably sharp in high-grade examples. Collectors value these intricate details not only for their aesthetic beauty but also for the story they tell about America's cultural and historical legacy. Every column, line, and inscription on the coin reflects both artistic skill and symbolic intent. Grading nuances are particularly significant for the 1989 penny. Small differences in strike quality, luster, surface preservation, and eye appeal can dramatically influence a coin's grade and market value. Coins with subtle imperfections may receive lower grades, while those exhibiting flawless surfaces and full mint luster achieve. As we delve further into the story of the 1989 penny, it becomes apparent that this small coin, while modest in face value, occupies a significant place in both numismatic study and collector investment strategies. Serious collectors often approach the 1989 penny not just as currency, but as an investment vehicle, a tangible asset that combines historical significance, aesthetic appeal, and market demand. Understanding these investment strategies requires examining factors such as coin rarity, condition, grading, provenance, and market trends. Unlike other modern coins, the 1989 penny is notable because, while it was minted in the millions, the number of coins surviving in pristine, uncirculated condition is relatively small. This scarcity in high-grade examples creates a dynamic where careful selection, preservation, and documentation can dramatically influence value. One common strategy among investors is the acquisition of multiple high-grade specimens, particularly those graded MS65 or higher. By securing coins certified by trusted organizations like PCGS or NGC, investors can ensure that their holdings are both authenticated and preserved. Certification provides assurance to future buyers that the coin's grade is accurate, reducing uncertainty and increasing market confidence. Collectors who assemble portfolios of graded 1989 pennies often diversify based on mint marks, ensuring that both Philadelphia and Denver examples are represented. This approach mirrors investment strategies in other markets. Diversification reduces risk, preserves historical and numismatic completeness, and positions the collection for potential appreciation over time. Famous collection case studies provide real-world examples of the 1989 penny's potential. For instance, one renowned numismatist assembled a collection of modern Lincoln cents, meticulously selecting uncirculated examples from each year and mint. Among these was a 1989 D penny exhibiting exceptional luster, sharp strike, and flawless surfaces. When submitted for professional grading, it achieved an MS67 designation and subsequently sold at a major auction for several $100s, far exceeding its face value. This example demonstrates the importance of patience, careful inspection, and knowledge in uncovering value within a seemingly ordinary series. It also underscores the role of professional certification and auction exposure in maximizing both market perception and realized price. Historical anecdotes further enrich the narrative of the 1989 penny. Although the coin was produced during a period of modern minting, its context is tied to the ongoing legacy of Abraham Lincoln and the Lincoln cent series. The obverse design, created by Victor David Brenner in 1909, commemorates the centennial of Lincoln's birth, while the reverse Lincoln Memorial, introduced in 1959, represents a symbolic connection to the nation's capital and Lincoln's enduring influence. Every 1989 penny is thus a small artifact of national history, linking contemporary collectors to decades of artistic, economic, and cultural developments. Stories of coins passing through countless hands, found in circulation, preserved in collections, or discovered as anomalies, highlight the ongoing journey of these small but meaningful objects. Comparative analysis with other modern pennies provides additional insight into the 1989 penny's value. Pennies minted after 1982, when the composition shifted from nearly pure copper to copper-plated zinc, exhibit different preservation characteristics. While the zinc core introduced potential vulnerabilities, it also allowed the mint to continue producing large quantities of coins efficiently. Compared to earlier pennies, 1989 cents are abundant in circulation but scarce in high-grade form, which paradoxically increases their collectible appeal. Collectors recognize that while older pennies may command historical prestige, modern high-grade examples offer unique investment opportunities due to their relative rarity in pristine condition and the potential for anomalies. Preservation storytelling is a critical component of the 1989 penny's allure. Collectors who have maintained pristine examples over decades often share tales of meticulous care, storing coins in climate-controlled safes, avoiding handling with bare hands, and protecting coins from environmental hazards such as humidity, air pollutants, and physical abrasion. Some collectors recount the serendipity of discovering near-perfect 1989 pennies in coin rolls, piggy banks, or inherited collections, emphasizing that the journey to preservation is as compelling as the coin itself. These narratives create a sense of connection between the collector, the coin, and the broader history it represents. The investment appeal of the 1989 penny is further enhanced by the ongoing popularity of the Lincoln Cent series. Collectors often seek to complete comprehensive sets spanning multiple decades, including high-grade examples from each year and mint. Within this context, the 1989 penny serves as a modern link in a long continuum, bridging mid-20th century copper coins with contemporary issues. Its relatively recent production, combined with limited availability in pristine condition, positions it as both an accessible entry point for new collectors and a valuable addition for seasoned investors seeking completeness and historical representation. In addition to condition and rarity, collector value is often influenced by visual appeal and aesthetic qualities. Coins with sharp strikes, full luster, and eye-catching surfaces attract competitive bidding at auctions, while those exhibiting dullness or minor imperfections generally command lower prices. For 1989 pennies, subtle differences in design execution, die alignment, and surface quality can create significant distinctions between otherwise similar specimens. Collectors often evaluate these factors meticulously, using magnification, lighting, and comparative analysis to identify coins that stand out within the series. International interest continues to play a key role in the 1989 pennies market. Collectors from Europe, Asia, and South America often participate in auctions and online marketplaces, seeking pristine examples and era coins certified by recognized grading services. The global reach of numismatic networks ensures that high-quality 1989 pennies are in demand far beyond the United States, driving competitive bidding and occasionally elevating prices above domestic expectations. This international dimension emphasizes the coin's enduring appeal and the universality of numismatic fascination, highlighting its role as both a cultural artifact and an investment vehicle. Finally, as we continue exploring the 1989 penny, one of the most captivating aspects for collectors is the nuanced study of grading and the impact it has on market value. Grading, particularly for modern coins like the 1989 penny, involves evaluating strike quality, surface preservation, luster, and overall eye appeal. Small differences in these characteristics can dramatically alter a coin's grade and its collectible worth. For example, a 1989 penny graded MS-64 may command only a modest premium over face value, while an MS-67 coin with full original luster and flawless surfaces can achieve hundreds or even thousands of dollars at auction. Collectors must therefore develop a keen eye, learning to distinguish subtle variations that separate ordinary examples from those deserving top-tier grading. Professional grading services such as PCGS and NGC play a critical role in this process. Their standardized evaluations lend credibility to coins being sold in the marketplace, reduce uncertainty for buyers, and provide a clear basis for pricing. For the 1989 penny, grading also helps authenticate anomalies like double die errors, off-center strikes, or lamination issues. Coins submitted for professional evaluation often emerge with detailed notes describing the features, flaws, or unique characteristics, allowing collectors to understand exactly what makes the coin valuable. The combination of certification, high grade, and documented anomalies can dramatically elevate market perception and realized price. Speculative market scenarios add another layer of intrigue to the 1989 penny. Collectors often imagine extreme possibilities. What if a previously unknown double-die variant surfaced? What if a rare 1989 off-center strike with perfect surfaces emerged from circulation? While many of these scenarios are unlikely, the potential creates excitement and drives collectors to examine rolls, inherited collections, and bulk coins meticulously. These speculative considerations contribute to a mindset where even ordinary pennies are scrutinized for hidden value, emphasizing the role of imagination and foresight in numismatics. Rare find narratives reinforce this allure. One famous story involves a collector who purchased a box of circulated pennies from a local bank, only to discover a 1989 penny with an extreme off-center strike. The coin, graded MS-65 by a professional service, was later sold at auction for several $100s, a substantial return on an initial nominal investment. Such narratives highlight the thrill of discovery, illustrating how careful observation, patience, and knowledge can transform a mundane coin into a prized collector's item. These stories are frequently shared within the numismatic community, inspiring others to search for their own hidden treasures and reinforcing the mythos surrounding the 1989 penny. Extreme error coin examples further enhance the fascination. For the 1989 penny, these include broad strikes where the coin is significantly expanded, die cracks running across Lincoln's shoulder, and lamination errors where the copper layer begins to peel from the zinc core. Each of these anomalies is rare and potentially valuable, particularly when combined with high-grade surfaces. Collectors prize such coins not only for their monetary value but also for the insight they provide into the minting process, revealing the occasional imperfections and quirks inherent in mass production. In many ways, these coins are tangible records of the mint's operational history, offering both aesthetic and educational appeal. Historical connections add depth to the 1989 penny's narrative. The coin, bearing Abraham Lincoln's profile and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, links collectors to more than a century of American coinage and national history. Lincoln, commemorated since 1909, symbolizes integrity, leadership, and the enduring principles of the United States. The Lincoln Memorial, introduced on the cent in 1959, serves as a visual reminder of the nation's reverence for its history and values. Collecting and preserving the 1989 penny thus becomes an act of historical appreciation, connecting modern collectors to both the mid-20th century origins of the memorial design and the enduring legacy of Lincoln himself. Comparative studies with other modern pennies also provide perspective. While the 1989 penny is not considered a key date like the 1909 SVDB cent or the 1955 double die averse, it occupies a unique niche. Modern production means millions were minted, yet the survival of uncirculated, high-grade examples is limited. This combination of abundance in circulation and scarcity in pristine condition makes the 1989 penny a fascinating case study for both collectors and investors. It illustrates how value in numismatics is not solely determined by age or historical prestige, but also by condition, rarity within the series, and the presence of anomalies. Storage and preservation continue to play a crucial role in maintaining value. Collectors often employ high-quality holders, climate-controlled storage, and careful handling to prevent damage from environmental factors such as humidity, temperature fluctuations, or exposure to pollutants. The modern copper-plated zinc composition of the 1989 penny requires particular attention, as the zinc core can corrode if the copper plating is compromised. By employing rigorous preservation methods, collectors ensure that high-grade coins retain their luster, sharp details, and marketability for decades. Finally, the ongoing collector fascination with the 1989 penny demonstrates how even ordinary-seeming coins can achieve remarkable significance. Through careful study, preservation, and market participation, collectors transform these small artifacts into objects of historical, aesthetic, and financial value. The stories of rare finds, grading triumphs, speculative valuations, and meticulous preservation illustrate the multifaceted appeal of the 1989 penny. It is a coin that, while modest in face value, encapsulates the excitement, depth, and enduring fascination of numismatics. As we reach the final chapter in the story of the 1989 penny, it is important to examine the coin through the lens of long-term market trends. Over the past 3 decades, the value of high-grade 1989 pennies has steadily increased, reflecting both scarcity and sustained collector demand. While most circulated examples remain worth only face value, coins preserved in uncirculated condition, especially those graded MS-65 and higher, have consistently achieved premiums at auction and in private sales. Auction data indicates that coins exhibiting exceptional luster, flawless surfaces, or verified anomalies often outperform ordinary specimens, demonstrating how condition and uniqueness drive value even within a relatively modern series. Collector strategies have evolved alongside these market dynamics. Serious numismatists often adopt a multi-pronged approach, acquiring high-grade examples, seeking coins with minor errors or die varieties, and diversifying across mint marks to complete comprehensive sets. Certification by professional grading services remains a cornerstone of this strategy, providing both authentication and a standardized evaluation of quality. Investors and collectors alike understand that even minor differences in strike sharpness, luster, or eye appeal can influence pricing, making meticulous examination and professional verification essential. Additionally, storage and preservation practices, such as encapsulation, climate control, and careful handling, ensure that these coins retain their collectible value over decades. Legendary coin finds continue to fuel the mystique surrounding the 1989 penny. Stories abound of collectors discovering high-grade or error coins in circulation, inherited collections, or bulk coin lots. One particularly memorable case involved a 1989 D penny with an extreme off-center strike discovered in a bundle from a local bank. Graded MS-65 and authenticated by a professional service, the coin later sold at auction for several $100s, transforming what was initially a mundane purchase into a significant numismatic success. These narratives illustrate the thrill of discovery inherent in coin collecting and highlight how diligence, expertise, and a keen eye can uncover hidden treasures in everyday objects. The global market has played an increasingly important role in the 1989 penny's collectability. International collectors, particularly from Europe and Asia, actively seek high-grade or error specimens, often participating in competitive auctions or online marketplaces. Coins certified by reputable grading services command particular attention, as the authenticity and documented quality provide assurance for buyers worldwide. This international interest underscores the universal appeal of the Lincoln Cent series and demonstrates how the 1989 penny, while modern and abundant in circulation, has achieved significance as a collectible beyond its national borders. Mythic valuations, such as the oft-cited $85 million figure, though largely anecdotal, continue to inspire collectors and enthusiasts. While number 1989 penny has ever approached such a sum in reality, the story captures the imagination, illustrating the human fascination with rarity, discovery, and the potential hidden value in ordinary objects. These myths encourage meticulous examination, research, and engagement within the collector community, reinforcing the allure of the coin and the excitement of uncovering exceptional specimens. Even the smallest cent carries with it the possibility of greatness, reminding collectors that patience and diligence can yield remarkable rewards. Market pricing trends over time provide further insight into the enduring appeal of the 1989 penny. Coins with high grades or anomalies have seen steady appreciation, reflecting both the limited supply of pristine specimens and sustained collector demand. Auction results, sales records, and grading reports reveal consistent premiums for MS-65 and above examples, with additional value added for coins with unique features or historical provenance. These trends demonstrate the intersection of rarity, quality, and narrative in determining market value, highlighting the complex factors that make even a seemingly simple penny a compelling collectible. The 1989 penny also holds an educational dimension. For students of numismatics, it offers a hands-on opportunity to study modern minting techniques, die varieties, error types, and grading criteria. It teaches collectors how to evaluate strike quality, identify anomalies, and understand the interplay between composition, preservation, and market perception. The coin serves as a bridge between contemporary minting practices and historical numismatics, providing both a practical and scholarly lens for exploration. In this way, the 1989 penny functions not only as a collectible or investment but also as a tangible tool for learning and appreciation of the craft of coinage. Finally, the enduring legacy of the 1989 penny lies in its combination of accessibility and potential rarity. Millions were produced, yet uncirculated high-grade specimens remain limited, and coins with verified errors or exceptional eye appeal are exceedingly rare. The coin embodies the excitement of discovery, the satisfaction of careful preservation, and the historical resonance of the Lincoln cent series. It is a reminder that even the smallest objects can carry significant cultural, aesthetic, and financial weight, and that the pursuit of numismatic excellence rewards patience, knowledge, and careful observation. In conclusion, the 1989 penny, with its rich design, subtle anomalies, and potential for high-grade preservation, occupies a unique place in the world of coin collecting.